everyone, and welcome to this edition of Dishing It Out with Dana. I'm Dana and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make something awesome, gooey, delicious, sweet for your family. It's called Blueberry Butter Crunch, and we're going to work with these delicious blueberries. So get your pad and pen, be right back after this, and I'll explain it all. We're back, so here we go. Let's get started. We're going to start with a 9-inch deep or regular 9-inch pie shell. Now I've used a glass pan and I've butter sprayed it underneath. You want to get the pre-refrigerated or the frozen pie crust that's already pinched, or the refrigerated one you can pinch it yourself, which I've done here. The frozen pie crust 9-inch, you can go ahead and usually it's already pinched for you. Whatever you desire. I've chosen my glass pan that I've butter sprayed before I put the pie crust in there. Now, here's a 9-inch deep. You can purchase these at your grocer. You can get these online. But for today, we're using a regular pie crust that's pre-refrigerated. Okay, now the star of the show, of course, is the blueberries. I have 1 pint of fresh blueberries. I would recommend when you use blueberries for this recipe to freeze them or refrigerate them right before you're going to stir them up with a little bit of sugar to sweeten them up before they go in the pie shell. And the reason being is if they're warm, they could fall apart when you begin to stir them. And you don't want that to happen. Okay? Now, we have 1½ sticks or 12 tablespoons of melted butter, salted butter. We have 1 lightly beaten egg, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of granulated sugar, and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And we're going to start just like this. We're going to take a small bowl. We're going to combine our dried ingredients. We have 1 cup of the flour. I'm going to put that right in there, combined with our sugar. Okay? Simple as that. And just stir that up a bit. Make sure that's pretty well stirred. You know, this dessert is very gooey. It's called Blueberry Butter Crunch. Blueberry Butter Crunch is just what it is. It's made with blueberries. It has a cookie crunch on the topping. On the outside, a thin layer of cookie crunch, and underneath it's gooey and buttery. Marvelous. My husband actually came up with the name. And you can do this with fresh strawberries. You can do this with peaches. You can do canned peaches, but make sure you drain the juice from the peaches so as not to get too liquidy your recipe. Anything that's in season, you can use fresh peaches. You can even do with apples and sprinkle a little cinnamon, and that's good too. All right, so our flour and our sugar is now stirred. Next thing we're going to do is take our 1 tablespoon of vanilla, mix it in with the lightly beaten egg, and going to whisk that just for a second. And now you're just going to mix that right in to your butter. Mix that all in, your melted butter, your vanilla extract. That's perfect. And your lightly beaten egg. Now, next step. We're now going to combine that into our dried ingredients, just like that. Okay? Perfect. At this point, let's just take our blueberries quickly and put them in the bottom of our pie shell. Perfect. Just spread them around the bottom a little bit and blanket them down there a little bit. All right. Let's come back over here and mix all of our ingredients together till it's nice. The consistency should be a wet consistency. If in fact you find that after you've mixed this and it's all combined and it's too liquidy, you can add a little bit of flour. On the other hand, after you've mixed this and if it's too hard, which sometimes could happen, then in fact you're going to want to add a little bit of water, very tiny. Maybe start with ½ teaspoon or a teaspoon of water, just a little bit at a time. You want to make sure you don't get it too wet. Now this consistency looks a little bit wet, but I think we can work with that. It's going to spread nice and beautifully over our strawberries. All right, so this is the consistency, what we have. kind of doughy, sticks on the spoon a little bit. That's pretty thick, and that's what we want, nice and thick. Okay, gonna stir just for another second or two. Very easy recipe. You're gonna wow your family and friends, starting to form like a dough-like now. And that's exactly what you want. Okay, beautiful. And it doesn't even stick to the spoon, so we're in good shape here. All right, next step, we're gonna take our mixture and we're going to pour it over our blueberries. And I'm gonna show you a little trick in just a moment. All right, we're just gonna literally pour that right on top. And you know, the bowl is pretty clean. It did a good job. It's not too tight. It's not too gooey though that it totally sticks in the bowl either. Okay, and now we're gonna take our wooden spoon or a knife. We're gonna spread it around just like you're frosting a cake. Just like you're frosting a cake. We're gonna spread that around a bit. Now, see if you can see that, what I'm doing here. Okay, just like you're frosting a cake. Isn't that pretty? Now you want to get the dough to the edges of the pie shell. Careful not to break all the blueberries apart. And again, I started with frozen blueberries and I did sprinkle them with a little bit of sugar. They're nice and sweet. But what's going to happen is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 blueberries are going to show on the top. That's perfect. Because when it bakes, it's going to look like a magazine cover. And I'm all about color, texture, you name it. If anyone's seen my YouTube videos, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just pulling a few blueberries out on the top to decorate them a little bit and design them just a little bit. We're not breaking any blueberries. We're just showing them on the top. All right, I'm going to continue to work on this for a moment, and we'll be right back, and I'll explain how to bake it. Here we have the finished product that's going to go into the oven. I have now taken about 2 blueberries and I have broken them apart and spread a little pinkish bluish colored wonderland on the top of this pie. It's going to be so pretty when it's all done. Going to look like a magazine cover. All right, so what you want to do is preheat your oven to 350. Pop it in the oven for approximately 45 to 55 minutes. I always tell everyone that all ovens vary. Now check it after 45 minutes. You'll know if you need a few minutes longer. Make sure the edges of the pie crust are nice and browned, and the center, you'll see the blueberries in the center start bubbling. When you see it start bubbling a little bit, nice and brown around the edges and starting to brown a little bit more in the middle, that's when you want to take it out. Let it cool for 15 minutes, and we will be back with the finished product. And here we have the finished product, my delicious blueberry butter crunch pie. Amazing. Secret recipe, delicious. But you know what? You can make this today by ordering my cookbook, Dana's Famous Quiche Recipes, ... and more. There's over 102 recipes in here, folks. Blueberry butter crunch is one of them. It's just fantastic. It comes on disc in a regular book and on an easel stand. Comes with every single book. Isn't that great? So you can just keep that on your counter and you can flip through the pages, see the recipes. Perfect. What more could you want? Look at this pie, beautiful. You see how it's so nice and buttery underneath this layer? Very buttery underneath the layer. The top is full of blueberries, moist and delicious for your family. Well, listen, email me, Dana at danasfamousquiche.com, Dana at dishingitoutwithdana.com. Go on my websites, find out about me, and order one of my cookbooks. Cookbooks make great gifts for anniversaries, birthdays, Mother's Day, all kinds of wedding, showers, all kinds of great occasions. Okay, everyone, until then, this is Dishing It Out with Dana. I'm Dana. Bon appetit. See you next time.